Hey everybody. So I have a very creaky chair. Sorry. So we are about to dive into some really exciting stuff about 3 of the themed bars in Walt Disney World. We are going to start off with Oga's Cantina. We are then going to head over to GO82, and we are going to end with Beak and Barrel. So this is all of the footage from our last trip. So come along with me as we walk through each experience, the rating that we have for it, the viability of going back to it, and yeah, let's go. So I am going to start off by saying that for this video, you just get me. Partially because Jeffrey is at work, and I want to make sure that this video goes out in a timely manner. And secondly, because I'm going to share all of his thoughts with you. So don't worry about that. You'll get all of Jeffrey's thoughts too. But this was a lot of fun. We had 2 full park hopping days, and we did this all in our second day, which was ambitious. Definitely ambitious doing this. I don't recommend it for anybody. I'm going to say a couple of things right now. Number 1, we did not include Nomad Lounge in this. And we did not include Trader Sam's in this. Now we didn't include Trader Sam's because technically, though, Trader Sam's is Trader Sam's is a themed bar. It is at the Polynesian Hotel, so it's not technically in a park. And the reason why we didn't include Nomad Lounge was mainly because of the timing that it opened. We weren't able to do Nomad Lounge, do Oga's Cantina, do GO82, and then do Beak and Barrel. That was just going to be way too much. Now, I can tell you that Jeffrey and I did go to Nomad Lounge. Nomad Lounge recently. Nomad Lounge, one of the things to know me about Nomad Lounge is some place, it's not a themed bar. It is a lounge. It is you can go here anytime and enjoy kind of a place. So I don't necessarily put it in the same category as these other 3. Jeffrey and I had some delicious food. I had a not so great drink, but our server was amazing and she brought me a new one. And Jeffrey loved his drink. Jeffrey's been really getting into gin lately. Nomad Lounge is always a delight to go to and be at. I recommend it, whether you're sitting inside or outside. Go have a beverage, get off your feet, get out of the heated Animal Kingdom, and truly enjoy. We did have the sticky ribs this last time when we went. Of course, we had the churros. And then also we had the trio dip with naan. Overall, the trio dip was okay. Jeffrey's not a fan of chickpeas, and it had hummus. And we didn't catch that detail that it was 3 different types of hummus. So he wasn't as interested. He loved the garlic naan. The naan was delicious. But it just wasn't a dish for us. So that's your little snippet of Nomad Lounge. We always highly recommend Nomad Lounge, especially if you're at Animal Kingdom. Whether you have the kiddos or not, I think Nomad Lounge is a great place to take a little respite. And if your kiddos are hungry, they can always get chicken tenders and fries, as well as they share a kitchen with Tiffin's. And Tiffin's for us is always a yes, please. Tiffin's is absolutely delicious. A more expensive meal, a much higher quality meal, but absolutely amazing. So, with further ado, let's dive in to Oga's Cantina. So Oga's Cantina has been around since 2018. Oga's Cantina you will find in both Disneyland and Walt Disney World in Batuu, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars land, whatever you want to call it. Jeffrey and I have been there multiple times. We have taken the kids. We have gone by ourselves. I'm a Star Wars nut. I love Star Wars. Jeffrey has learned to love Star Wars. I don't ever feel like you know what you're going to get when you walk into this bar, Cantina, which I think is absolutely amazing. You could have stormtroopers come through. Kylo Ren could come through. You just never really know. And it's always such an exciting thing to see. They have been changing up the food lately, which has definitely helped. We had the most delicious like pretzel garlic bread with like a cheesy sriracha dipping sauce. It was so delicious. It was like so spicy and yummy. We had that on this last trip. I of course had my jet juice, and Jeffrey got the fuzzy tauntaun. Fuzzy tauntaun is a very popular drink. It's not one that we have ever gotten before, but it was something new Jeffrey wanted to try, and we have been all about trying new things with going to Disney lately, and I absolutely love it. And it helps us to get to know and explore the parks a little bit better, which I think is really, really neat. And I absolutely love and enjoy it. So that has been a very exciting piece of our trip, was trying new things. The first question I would answer is this a place you could repeat going? Yes. Do you want to go every trip? No. But is it a nice spot to get away? Absolutely. It's really nice now that you can do this on a walk up. It's really nice. It's familiar. It's fun. It is incredibly loud in there. But I feel like that is a trend. If you do Trader Sam's, or you do Beak and Barrel, which we'll talk about later, or if you do kind of any lounge, I feel like more and more recently they are getting louder and louder. And whether you can help it or not, I don't know, but it's a very fun vibe for a short time. So I do think it's worth it. I like that they're changing the food around. I think that that adds a level of just mystery is not the right word, but it adds a level of change and excitement to going different times. So, Jeffrey's comments about Oga's Cantina are drinks have never let me down, especially the jet juice. Really enjoyed having the fuzzy tauntaun. Not sure if it's a repeat for me, but it was very fun to have and try. And I think that's something to really remember, is you're going to taste and try these different fun space drinks to see the atmosphere, DJ Rex, and, communicate in the language of Batuu. And it's a very immersive space. It has happened to us twice now that stormtroopers have walked in. It didn't happen on this trip, it happened on our last one. But just something so incredibly fun, which is always really, really nice. So that is Oga's Cantina. After Oga's, we literally ran our butts over to GO82. So let's get into GO82. GO82. All right. Let me rearrange a little bit for this. So here's what I'm going to say about GO82. It's new. It's still very new. It opened up last September. No, it opened up last August. It's not even a year old yet. It's 21 and up. It's in an absolutely beautiful spot overlooking Seven Seas Lagoon. It's very swanky, has very, very much some Walt touches to it. That's sophistication of Webb and WED Enterprises and just the Walt Disney experience. It's very Epcot. It's very, very Epcot. It is a step above. If you are going with an adults only group and you are going and thinking, oh yeah, I got this. This is the place you might want to go to have that sophistication. I think seeing the fireworks from there and doing their fireworks timing would be absolutely beautiful. I don't think that there is a bad spot in that bar for you to stop, look, and watch and see the fireworks. I really don't. I don't think there's a bad spot at all. It truly is a lovely place. It is very expensive. We got a charcuterie board to split because we wanted to do food and drink in each one. Jeffrey got an old fashioned. I don't remember what I got. Let's be perfectly honest. Jeffrey's brown sugar old fashioned was the winner for both of us. My drink was fine. It was nice. I think it's definitely a hit or miss. I think it's definitely, if you have the time to sit there and do it, it's worth it. The problem whenever you do any of these bars, there is a 45-minute limit. However, 9 times out of 10, you're not getting out of there in 45 minutes. Like, you're usually there a little bit longer. We were at Nomad Lounge for an hour and 20 minutes, and that wasn't because we were waiting, like slowly drinking our drinks. That's because that's what the amount of time took. I want to say in when we were at Oga's, we were in and out in about 35 minutes, which is pretty standard, I think, especially because all the drinks are pre-made. We were in GO82 for a little over an hour, I think. And I think whenever you're eating a hand-mixed drink versus a pre-batched drink, that seems about normal. I mean, would we do it again? I think we would go again. Jeffrey's comment about GO82 is this is the best drink he had the entire time when we were on Disney property. That brown sugar old fashioned was absolutely delicious. The pressed ice with the Epcot ball was amazing. There was definitely a level up about the entire experience. There's not a lot of tables, so you would expect service to be a little quicker. I have noticed, though, I am way more critical about our service that we get now at Disney because I hold it to such a higher esteem. And I'm not talking about come check on me every 5 minutes the minute my water is gone, you know, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a friendliness and a conversation. you know, like we went to Whispering Canyon and I saw servers that were like above and beyond going through the acts like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And our server didn't. And I was just like, we're just getting bad servers. Like, I don't know. Our server was incredibly knowledgeable. He was very kind. He was very attentive. The reason we were in there so long was not because of his delay. I think it was more because of the bar got backed up at one point, and then there was an issue with our food. We had asked for a specific alteration, and that didn't happen. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it wasn't the server's fault, but like when you're in a restaurant like that, you expect the above and beyond, I think. And I don't necessarily feel like we got it. Beverages, food, delicious. Definitely a one-time experience. Maybe if you're going back with a group of friends who have never been and you want to give them a high roller experience, like I would definitely do it. But yeah, GO82 was our second location. Oh, that was the other thing. We ended up waiting. We got there 2 minutes after our reservation time. 2 minutes, okay? We waited 25 minutes to be seated. So there was something going on that day. I don't know if that's everybody's experience, but there was something going on that day. And the 25-minute delay really affected our timeline because we literally were going boom, 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 boom to all of these different things. And that was a huge, huge struggle for us. Don't get me wrong. We didn't mind waiting. It was fine. It ended up being fine. But it was very frustrating when you get told, oh yeah, you're the next to go up. And then they send 4 parties up and you're not included in there. And then, you know, it's like, oh, well, oh, you're still here. That's right. Okay. My bad. And then they send you up and then you wait another 10 minutes. Sorry, I got my hair cut today. So I'm like, I'm fidgety. So that was GO82. So now let's jump over and talk about Beak and Barrel. So Beak and Barrel is our final and last stop along the way for our immersive lounge crawl through Walt Disney World, through the parks of Walt Disney World. I think I can definitely say Beak and Barrel has a very huge place in Jeffrey's heart. He absolutely loved this. This was his favorite of all 3. He 100% wants to go back. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our experience with Beak and Barrel. We ordered the corn cake, which was good. I was expecting it to be a smidge more spicy from what I had heard from other people. I haven't seen a ton of reviews on Beak and Barrel, mainly because I knew Jeffrey and I really, really wanted to go. Like, we really wanted to go so badly. And so I was really trying not to get too many spoilers. We only got one beverage, and we split that beverage because it was basically you get this one, and that is your 2 and done. So we split that one, and I'm really glad that we did. By the time we got to our Beak and Barrel reservation, we were done for the night. We had had a whole issue with Tron. Tron went down. We couldn't get on Tron. We were riding the People Mover. Space Mountain was down. We never got on Space Mountain. But we got to see all of Space Mountain, which was amazing. And if you watched last week's video, you got to see a little snippet of it. Just so exciting. It's always like that dream to actually see all of it. And then you see it and you go, oh my gosh. So it was absolutely amazing. It really, really was. But getting back to Beak and Barrel, we were exhausted. So we split one drink, and then we had the corn cakes. I really, with chicken, we had it with the chicken. Really enjoyed it. These were all pre-mixed drinks as well. The drink we had that came in the pirate school was pretty darn cool. It was good. It wasn't as strong as I think you made it seem out to be, but I think it was strong. It was just covered very well by flavors. The highlight, though, of this bar is not the drink menu. It is not the food menu. It is not the mocktail menu and all of the little sweet treats that it offers. The absolute highlight of this bar is the nonstop interaction that is happening in every single room around you during your 45-minute experience. It's unbelievable. So let's talk a little bit about where Jeffrey and I sat. We were at this huge, long table right in the main center room. My biggest complaint that I have heard about Beak and Barrel is that depending on where you sit, you don't get to see stuff. Well, so obviously we were in the main room by the bar on this huge long table with other families and groups and everything else. But the neatest thing about it truly is that from that perspective, you get to see the map room. You get to see the ship sink. You get to see the bird. You get to see all these different things. And it's really immersive and really amazing. There was only one room out of the 5. One room out of the 5 that I really felt like you didn't really see or hear anything. The map room is so small, but there's different effects that happen in the map room. At the bar, you obviously get everything on that main wall. Where we were seated, which I do count as a different area, you get to see everything. You get to see the ship's sink. You get to see the map room. You get to see everything going on with the bird. And then there is another room kind of in the back, and we didn't go to this room, and I kind of wish I would have now. I think only one thing happens back there, but you're so far back that you're kind of excluded from everything that's going on. If you're in one of those, like the bar, the long table in the center, and then where the ship goes down, if you're in one of those 3 areas, you kind of get to see everything. But if you're in either the map room or the back room, you don't necessarily get to see everything. So 3 out of 5 ain't bad. But there's so much interaction going on in Beak and Barrel that is why it was literally Jeffrey's favorite. And I think for Jeffrey, definitely a reason to go back. So I'm going to sum up a couple of things. If I had to rate these by viability of going back multiple times, I would probably say I'm going to give it to Oga's Cantina as first, Beak and Barrel as second, and GO82 as third. GO82 doesn't really do anything special. I do think it's worth going for a fireworks display. I think that would be a lot of fun. I also very much think that it's worth a go for someone who likes a very nice old-fashioned. The food is neither here nor there for me, but this is definitely a bougie place to go. Oga's Cantina and Beak and Barrel, I think, are very, very on similar lengths. I think that Beak and Barrel definitely opens up more kid-friendly items in regards to mocktails and little bits and pieces of things that you can try. I think they definitely went on that. Oga's, if you have a Star Wars lover, The fact that every time you go in, you have a little bit of a different experience depending on where you sit. Will the stormtroopers come in? Are you trying a different drink? Have they changed any of the menu? I think those are all huge things that you consider for OS Cantina. I wouldn't be surprised if Beak and Barrel does follow along those lines once it's been opened a little bit. The other thing is too is for Ogas, hold on. Sorry. The other thing is for Ogas, you can get in without a reservation at this point. For WDW and Beak and Barrel, it is still reservations only, which definitely makes things difficult to get in. Those reservations are gone 60 days out. Obviously, if you have a travel planner, they are always the first ones to be able to get dibs on any of that stuff. And I always do. I don't do this because I'm my own travel planner, and maybe one day I'll get my button gear, and actually become a travel agent for Disney. But going through a travel agent is free. They get paid from Disney, not from you. It doesn't cost you any more to use a travel agent whatsoever. The prices they are finding for you are the prices you would find for you, except sometimes travel agents get little perks, and they do all your dining reservations, and they book your lightning lanes, and they take care of all of that stuff for you if you want them to. I've done a trip where I've had a travel agent book everything for me, and I've had another trip very, very similar where I have booked everything. And I was getting texts 3-4 days prior to when I could actually do anything saying, hey, we got this. Hey, we got this. Hey, we got this. And that was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So, always something to consider, always something to be worth it, especially if you have a place that you really want to go that you know it's going to be a hard reservation. Topolino's for breakfast. If you want to try and do a fancy restaurant like Citrus Coast, it's always good to, kind of do that California grill. It's always good to kind of check in. If you want to do any of the bars, WDW, Beak and Barrel, Ohana for breakfast. I can't remember if I said that. Ohana for dinner. Can't remember if I said that. Cinderella's Royal Table, Be Our Guest, Acroshoots. There are so many amazing restaurants, and it's kind of like if you want a very specific time, it is so important to access those things, and you're helping people with their jobs as well. So always something really, really wonderful to consider. If I ever do bite the bullet and do that, I will plaster it all over my YouTube channel. You will know. You can come on here. I will help you, and we'll get it done. So there you go. So I have rambled on long enough. We had a wonderful time going and exploring all of these bars on our second day park hopping. Jeffrey and I both had a good time. We were very restrained with what we ordered. I could have gone for multiple jet juices because that really is one of my favorite drinks in all of Walt Disney World is the jet juice. So I hope this was informative. I hope this helps you to make a decision if you're interested in something like that. But most of all, keep dreaming, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. I did want to add one more thing. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let us know where you would want to go. Jeffrey and I are making some very big changes right now. Lots of stuff is going on. We will update you as soon as we can. But again, keep dreaming. Bye.